Thank you for joining me today to develop your strength and flexibility to do a great Thai yoga massage. This is a fairly short routine, but it'll take you through most of the hip actions, most of the core strengthening that you're really going to need. So we're going to start in a kneeling position. We're going to start with a little Vajrasana. So we're going to take our arms overhead, drop the shoulders, always drop the shoulders. And the next time you exhale, hinge at your knees and your hips and sweep your hands until they come palms up on your low back. Now as you inhale, press into your shins, come all the way up. So as we exhale, we're hinging, keeping the spine long, bringing the hands palms up on the low back. As we inhale, pressing into the shins so the legs help bring us all the way up. Moving up and down at the pace of your breath. You can begin to play a little bit here with exploring greater balance, which also means greater strength, by doing more hinge at your hips before you hinge at your knees. That always intensifies the pose. If you feel like you've got way too much intensity for today already, then bend at the knees and then at the hips as you fold. Developing strength in the core, teaching your body to work from the ground up. Developing some range of motion in the shoulders. We're going to take just one more time here. And when you make it all the way up this time, release the arms, and we're going to come to sit back on our heels. And as you know, in Thai yoga massage, there is a lot of sitting back on the heels. So you'll find we'll be developing those ankle flexibilities and knee flexibilities here. So we're going to work from the hips here, imagining yourself from the pelvis all the way up to your head is just one long straight line. This whole part of your body moves as one unit. And we're going to move from the hips to begin to make big circles. Take it slow. Take like a full breath for each full circle. This will help keep you slow and help keep you breathing. If you find that there's an uncomfortable place on your way around, then that's a good place to avoid. Stay within your comfortable range of motion. And we're going to take about 10 circles total in this direction. And then we're going to reverse direction, which usually takes us into our non-dominant direction, which is always an interesting thing. One of the things that you'll notice in Thai yoga massage is the more you do, the less you have a dominant side. This will be very helpful, making sure your partner gets equal treatment on both sides. But it might, along the way, reveal where your less flexible or weaker spots are. So just make note. Know that they'll change as you continue to practice. So we're taking 10 circles in this direction. And then we come all the way back to center. We're going to continue to work a little bit with this hero's pose, but we're going to work into a lunge now too. We're going to try to keep our spine long and neutral here. So we're not trying to stick our butt out. We're also not trying to tuck it under. We're trying to stay neutral, keeping your sacrum in line with the rest of the spine. So as you inhale, stand up on your knees, step one foot forward, take the hips forward and down. Keep your spine as neutral as possible. As you exhale, bring yourself all the way back to seated on your heels. Inhaling to step the other foot forward, lunging forward. Exhaling to come all the way back. Now as you move here in pace with your breath, remember we want to keep the torso upright all the while. So that means that when we come forward into our lunge, we're not leaning forward, we're staying upright as we come forward into that lunge. That means our back thigh is beginning to open up a little bit. One more time. And when you come back to your heels this time, take your knees wide apart, and we're going to take those torso circles again. So again, pelvis moves with the torso. Big circles. This might mean that you find a little bit more of a balance pose happening. That's okay. Use your arms, use your body, use your legs in particular to help keep you balanced and centered. Reversing your direction. You should be starting to feel a little lubrication in your hips about now. Always a good thing. And bringing yourself all the way back to center. We're going to come to stand up on our knees. Work a little bit with a lunge to a side lunge. So we're going to take that right foot forward. We'll start with the right side. We're going to keep our left hip right over that left knee. As you inhale, step your right leg out to the side. As you exhale, step it forward. You might wish to do this with your hands on your hips so that you know if you're beginning to cock your hips in a way that might not be so nice for your low back. You might also need to do this with your hands out to the side, just to keep your balance. More challenge, arms up by your ears. Taking one more time. And then bringing that right foot back, we'll do the same thing on the left side. So finding your arm position for this side. And as you inhale, taking the knee out to the side. As you exhale, taking it forward. Inhaling side lunge. Exhaling regular lunge. One more time. And then bringing that knee all the way back, we're going to do some hero push-ups. Now, there's a few reasons that I've included this particular action. One of them is that you're up and down an awful lot in Thai massage. You're moving around a lot. A lot of times you're getting up from this kneeling position. And this helps to build the core strength for you to be able to do that, for you to be able to maneuver from hero's pose to standing, but also from hero's pose to hero's pose, say, on the other side of your partner. So we're going to take the hands down to the floor, hips back towards heels. And then as you inhale, lift your knees. As you exhale, bring them down. So you'll notice as I move here, my toes are still on the floor. I'm not tucking them under at all here. This means I'm stretching the tops of my feet, the front of my ankles, which always needs a little help. In Thai massage, they need a lot of mobility. So we're going to do this for 2 more times. And come all the way down to our bottoms. Now, that core strength I was talking about should be starting to become apparent. Definitely working on a lot of leg strength here, but also core. Our next posture makes it even more obvious. So think about a couple things here. Think about your transverse abdominals, pulling your outer waist in towards your belly button, and also your pelvic floor. So think about pulling your sits bones towards each other, those bony parts of your body that you should be sitting on right about now. So find the back edge of those sits bones. Lengthen your spine, lift your pelvic floor, find your transverse abdominals, lean back. Chest is broad, arms come forward, and we lift our legs into boat pose. Full deep breaths, just 5. After that 5th breath, bring your feet down, take your hands behind you, come through a squat, all the way up to a nice wide angle pose. We're going to take the legs wide apart, bend your knees all you need to for your flexibility, and come about halfway down. Now, we're not going to let our hands help here because, again, it's about that core strength. So outer waist in towards your belly button, sits bones towards each other, take your arms out to the side. Holding here halfway down, bend the knees if it feels uncomfortable. 5 big breaths. With your last breath, bring your hands down to the floor and come back to all fours. And we're going to work from table pose to a deer twist. So here's how we're going to do this. It's a little bit tricky, so you might watch the first time. I'm going to take my right knee towards my left hand and sit down on my bottom. Now I'm in deer pose. We're going to take that into a twist by turning all the way around to face my back foot. Then I'll turn forward, come back up to my table, take my left knee towards my right hand. Bottom on the floor, I twist to look at that back foot. Then I turn all the way back around, back to table, right knee towards the left foot, knees are bent as I twist to say hello to that back foot. Turning forward, coming back to my table, taking left knee towards the right hand, twisting to say hello right foot, then coming all the way back around. Let's do that 3 more times on each side. Working on a little flexibility in the hips, a little coordination here. Do that last time on that last side. Tuck your toes under, sink your hips back towards your heels. Work a lot with the top of the foot flexibility because that's where most of us need the most help, but sometimes the soles are in need of it too. So this will stretch out your toes a little bit. If it feels like too much, just take your weight forward. I'm going to take a few more long breaths here. This is our last posture of our practice. When you're ready, lift your knees, finding yourself in a squat, ready to stand up and go about your practice. If there are any other poses you need before you start, by all means do. And never forget your metta meditation. It makes such a difference for your own energy reserves and your ability to give to others in an appropriate way. Much metta to you.